The grand dining hall of the Marchetti mansion glowed warmly under crystal chandeliers, long tables set elegantly for the evening's dinner. Yet despite the beautiful surroundings, tension hung heavily in the air, as it often did during meals shared between Vincenzo Marchetti and his wife of only 3 months, Rosalie. Rosalie was a chubby, warm-hearted woman with kind eyes and gentle hands, married to Vincenzo through a carefully arranged alliance between two powerful families. The marriage had been decided entirely for business reasons, strengthening ties between the Marchetti organization and Rosalie's own family's smaller, though respected, criminal enterprise. Neither Vincenzo nor Rosalie had any say in the matter, their futures decided instead by practical necessity and family obligation. Vincenzo was known throughout the organization as cold, calculating, and endlessly focused on maintaining absolute control. He had never wanted this marriage, viewing it purely as a strategic necessity rather than any genuine personal connection. Rosalie, though initially hopeful about building something meaningful despite their arranged circumstances, quickly found herself facing Vincenzo's persistent coldness and quiet disdain. That evening, Rosalie had spent the entire afternoon carefully preparing a traditional Italian meal, hoping desperately that her genuine effort and skill might finally earn some small measure of appreciation from her distant, dismissive husband. She arranged the dishes carefully on the long dining table, nervous excitement fluttering gently in her chest as Vincenzo's most trusted men gathered for the evening meal, a customary occasion where loyalty and respect were often reinforced through shared tradition. Vincenzo entered the dining hall, his sharp eyes briefly scanning the table before settling coldly on Rosalie. "You cooked this yourself?" he asked, his tone carrying obvious disdain rather than genuine curiosity. "Yes," Rosalie replied softly, hopeful anticipation evident despite her nervousness. "I wanted tonight's dinner to be special, using my grandmother's recipes." Vincenzo's men exchanged uneasy glances, clearly sensing the tension building steadily between the couple. Vincenzo took his seat at the head of the table, his expression unreadable as he began eating without further comment. Rosalie watched anxiously, hoping desperately for some small sign of approval or genuine enjoyment from her husband. Instead, Vincenzo's expression grew increasingly critical, his fork pushing food around his plate with clear disinterest. "This sauce is far too heavy," Vincenzo finally said loudly, ensuring his men clearly overheard his critical assessment. "My mother's cooking was always light, elegant. This tastes like something from a cheap, roadside restaurant." Rosalie's cheeks flushed deeply with embarrassment and hurt, painfully aware of the men's uncomfortable silence surrounding the humiliating scene. "I'm sorry, Vincenzo. I'll try to adjust the recipe next time." But Vincenzo, seemingly unsatisfied with simply criticizing the sauce, continued his cruel critique further. "Honestly, I wonder if you've ever properly learned how to cook at all. This entire meal feels amateurish, unrefined." The dining hall grew uncomfortably silent, Vincenzo's men shifting uneasily in their seats, clearly uncomfortable witnessing their boss's cruel, public humiliation of his wife. Rosalie's eyes filled with tears she desperately tried to hold back, humiliation and hurt evident despite her attempts at composure. "I apologize if it wasn't to your liking," Rosalie said quietly, her voice trembling slightly as she fought to maintain her dignity despite the painful public criticism. "I'll make sure to improve for next time." Vincenzo simply nodded coldly, returning his attention dismissively to his men, discussing business matters as though nothing significant had occurred. Rosalie sat quietly, picking at her own plate, her appetite entirely gone, replaced instead by quiet heartbreak and humiliation. After dinner concluded, Rosalie retreated quietly to her private room, finally allowing herself to release the tears she had bravely held back throughout the humiliating meal. She sat alone, staring blankly at her reflection in the mirror, wondering silently if she would ever find genuine acceptance or warmth within this cold, distant marriage. Yet despite her heartbreak, something resilient stirred within Rosalie's gentle, determined spirit. She had grown up watching her own grandmother patiently endure hardship and difficulty, always finding strength and comfort through simple, genuine acts of kindness and love, especially through cooking and caring for others. "I won't give up," Rosalie whispered quietly to herself, wiping away her tears with determined resolve. If Vincenzo cannot see the love and effort I put into my cooking, perhaps others within this household will. The following morning, Rosalie rose early, determined more than ever to continue expressing genuine warmth and kindness through her cooking, regardless of Vincenzo's cold dismissiveness. She began quietly preparing breakfast for the household staff and security man, offering warm smiles and genuine kindness to everyone she encountered, regardless of their position or status within the organization. Slowly, subtly, Rosalie's gentle warmth and evident culinary skill began earning quiet appreciation among the household staff and Vincenzo's men, who found themselves increasingly drawn to her genuine kindness, especially in contrast to Vincenzo's typically cold, distant demeanor. Though Vincenzo remained largely unaware of these small, quiet interactions, unaware entirely of the genuine affection steadily growing among his own men toward his humiliated wife, Rosalie's quiet determination and resilience were already setting into motion changes within the Marchetti household that neither she nor Vincenzo could yet fully anticipate. Changes that would soon challenge everything Vincenzo believed about loyalty, respect, and genuine connection within his powerful, dangerous world. Over the following weeks, Rosalie settled into a quiet, determined routine. Each morning, she rose before sunrise, making her way to the mansion's large kitchen, where she began preparing meals, not just for Vincenzo, but for the household staff, security guards, and any of Vincenzo's men who happened to be present. At first, the staff seemed uncertain how to respond to her genuine warmth. They were accustomed to a household run with cold efficiency, where the lady of the house rarely, if ever, entered the kitchen personally. Rosalie's presence, her easy smile, and her habit of asking about their families and their days felt unfamiliar, yet undeniably comforting. "You don't have to do this yourself, Mrs. Marchetti," the head housekeeper Maria said one morning, watching Rosalie carefully knead dough for fresh bread. "We have staff for the cooking." "I know," Rosalie replied warmly, flour dusting her hands as she smiled gently. "But cooking is how I show love, Maria. It's how my grandmother taught me to care for people. I want everyone here to feel that, even if my husband doesn't appreciate it." Maria's expression softened considerably at Rosalie's genuine words, sensing clearly the depth of quiet kindness and resilience hidden beneath her employer's humiliated exterior. "Well, for what it's worth, ma'am, the bread you made yesterday was the best thing I've eaten in years." Rosalie's face lit up with genuine happiness at the small, sincere compliment. "Thank you, Maria. That means more to me than you know." Word of Rosalie's delicious, heartfelt cooking spread quickly and quietly throughout the household. Security guards who once ate quickly and silently in the kitchen began lingering longer, enjoying the warm, comforting meals Rosalie prepared with genuine care. She remembered small details about each person: a guard's favorite dish from his childhood, another's dislike of certain spices, a maid's fondness for sweet pastries. "This tastes just like my nana used to make," one of the younger guards, Antonio, said one afternoon, genuine emotion evident in his voice as he savored a plate of Rosalie's pasta. "I haven't had food like this since I left home." "I'm glad it brings back good memories," Rosalie replied warmly, genuine happiness evident in her kind eyes. "Everyone deserves to feel cared for, Antonio, especially in a house as large and sometimes lonely as this one." Antonio smiled genuinely, clearly touched by her simple, heartfelt kindness. Slowly, gradually, similar exchanges began occurring throughout the household, Rosalie's warmth and generosity creating small, meaningful connections with everyone she encountered, regardless of their position within Vincenzo's organization. Vincenzo himself remained largely unaware of these quiet changes, consumed entirely by his demanding business responsibilities. Yet he began to notice subtle shifts within his household. His men seemed more relaxed, more genuinely content, their loyalty and morale steadily improving without any clear, obvious reason. "Your men seem unusually cheerful lately," Vincenzo's trusted advisor, Salvatore, commented one afternoon during a private meeting. "Even Antonio, who's typically quite serious, has been noticeably lighter, more engaged." Vincenzo frowned thoughtfully, genuine curiosity briefly surfacing beneath his usual cold composure. "I hadn't noticed anything significant." It might be worth paying closer attention, Salvatore suggested carefully. Good morale within our ranks is valuable, especially given rising tensions among certain rival families. Vincenzo considered this thoughtfully, though he quickly dismissed any deeper reflection, returning his attention instead to more pressing business matters. Still, a seed of curiosity had been planted, subtly prompting him to observe his household more closely in the following days. One evening, an important guest, Don Rinaldi, a respected and influential figure within their broader criminal network, arrived unexpectedly at the Marchetti estate for a business dinner. Rosalie, informed only hours in advance, quickly prepared an elaborate, heartfelt meal, determined to represent her household well despite the short notice. As dinner progressed, Don Rinaldi's expression shifted dramatically from polite formality to genuine delight, savoring each carefully prepared dish with evident enjoyment. "This meal is absolutely exceptional," Don Rinaldi remarked warmly, glancing appreciatively toward Rosalie. "I haven't tasted cooking this authentic, this genuinely comforting, in years." Vincenzo, caught off guard by the genuine, unexpected praise, glanced toward Rosalie, surprise evident beneath his usual controlled composure. "Thank you, Don Rinaldi," Rosalie replied warmly, though clear surprise and quiet pride flickered briefly in her kind eyes. "I'm glad you're enjoying it." "Vincenzo," Don Rinaldi continued warmly, turning his attention directly toward his host, "you're a fortunate man indeed, having such a talented, warm-hearted wife. Cooking like this reminds me genuinely of family, of true hospitality." Vincenzo remained silent for a brief moment, clearly processing this unexpected, genuine praise from someone whose opinion he deeply respected. "Yes," he finally replied carefully, glancing toward Rosalie with newfound, cautious curiosity. "She certainly has skill." Rosalie felt a small, quiet flush of pride and cautious hope at Vincenzo's brief acknowledgment, the first genuine compliment, however reserved, that he had offered since their humiliating dinner weeks earlier. Though Vincenzo quickly returned his attention to Don Rinaldi and continued business discussions, Rosalie sensed clearly that something subtle yet significant had shifted that evening. As the guests departed later that night, Vincenzo remained thoughtfully silent, his mind lingering unexpectedly on Don Rinaldi's genuine praise and the surprising warmth Rosalie had clearly cultivated within his own household. Warmth he hadn't previously acknowledged or understood. Unbeknownst to him, this quiet, growing appreciation for Rosalie's genuine kindness and skill was only the beginning of a much deeper transformation soon to unfold within the Marchetti household. A transformation that would soon challenge Vincenzo's carefully guarded pride and force him to confront feelings he had never anticipated experiencing toward the wife he had once so cruelly dismissed. In the weeks following Don Rinaldi's unexpected praise, something within the Marchetti household continued shifting steadily. Rosalie's cooking, once quietly appreciated only by household staff and security guards, began earning recognition throughout Vincenzo's entire organization. Men who worked directly under Vincenzo's command started requesting meals prepared by the boss's wife whenever business brought them to the mansion. One afternoon, as Rosalie prepared a large pot of hearty soup for a group of visiting associates, she overheard two guards speaking quietly near the kitchen entrance. "Mama Rose really outdid herself today," one guard commented warmly, savoring the delicious aroma filling the kitchen. "I don't think I've eaten this well since my own mother passed." Rosalie paused, surprised and deeply touched by the affectionate nickname. "Mama Rose?" she asked softly, stepping into view. The guard flushed slightly, embarrassed at being overheard. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We didn't mean any disrespect. It's just, you feel like family to us now. The way you care for everyone here." Rosalie's eyes filled with genuine emotion, warmth spreading deeply through her chest at the sincere, heartfelt nickname. "I'm not offended at all," she said softly, smiling warmly. "In fact, I think I rather like being called Mama Rose." Word of the affectionate nickname spread quickly throughout the organization, endearing itself deeply among Vincenzo's men, who increasingly saw Rosalie not merely as their boss's neglected wife, but as a genuine source of warmth, comfort, and care within their otherwise dangerous, often cold world. Vincenzo, meanwhile, found himself growing increasingly conflicted as he began noticing the depth of genuine affection his men held for Rosalie. During a private meeting with Salvatore, his advisor candidly addressed the shift directly. "Your men speak of Rosalie constantly," Salvatore remarked carefully. "They call her Mama Rose, genuinely admire and respect her. It's remarkable, Vincenzo, the loyalty and warmth she's cultivated within just a few months." Vincenzo frowned thoughtfully, old pride and newfound curiosity conflicting uncomfortably within him. "I hadn't realized the depth of their affection toward her." "Perhaps it's time to reconsider your own perspective," Salvatore suggested gently, though clearly cautious about overstepping. "Rosalie's genuine kindness has strengthened morale and loyalty significantly, something even the most calculated business strategy rarely achieves so effectively." Vincenzo remained silent, clearly wrestling internally with old pride and reluctant admiration. Though he still hadn't personally acknowledged Rosalie's efforts directly, he found himself increasingly aware of her genuine impact throughout his household and organization. That evening, Vincenzo entered the kitchen unexpectedly, finding Rosalie preparing dinner alone, humming softly to herself as she worked. She looked up, startled by his unexpected presence. "Vincenzo," she said cautiously, uncertain what to expect given their strained history. "Is everything all right?" Vincenzo studied her carefully, his usual cold composure faltering slightly beneath quiet curiosity and reluctant admiration. "I've been hearing quite a bit about you lately," he said carefully. "It seems my men have grown genuinely fond of you." Rosalie blushed softly, uncertain how to respond to his unexpected acknowledgement. "I've simply tried to treat everyone with kindness, Vincenzo. It's all I know how to do." Vincenzo nodded slowly, clearly considering her words carefully. "Well, it seems your kindness has had quite an effect. Even Don Rinaldi mentioned your cooking specifically during our recent business dealings, praising it as exceptional." Rosalie felt a small flicker of hope and pride at his words, though she remained cautious, uncertain if genuine change had truly begun within their strained relationship. "I'm glad it's been appreciated, at least by others." Vincenzo hesitated, clearly recognizing an unspoken invitation within her words, a gentle reminder of his own earlier cruelty. "Rosalie," he said quietly, genuine discomfort evident beneath his controlled tone, "I owe you an apology for my behavior at our first dinner together. It was unnecessarily harsh, unfair." Rosalie studied him carefully, surprised yet cautiously hopeful at his unexpected admission. "Thank you, Vincenzo. That means a great deal to me." Their quiet, meaningful exchange was suddenly interrupted by Salvatore rushing urgently into the kitchen. "Vincenzo, we have a situation. The Genovese family has been observing our recent changes closely. They've noticed the increased loyalty and morale among our men, and it seems they're planning to exploit this as a potential weakness." Vincenzo's expression hardened instantly, protective instincts overriding his earlier vulnerability. "Exploited how exactly?" Salvatore hesitated, clearly troubled by the seriousness of the intelligence. "They believe targeting Rosalie directly might expose vulnerabilities within our ranks, testing whether the loyalty she's inspired is genuine enough to withstand real danger." Rosalie's breath caught sharply, fear flooding through her at the unexpected, serious threat. "They want to target me, to test your men's loyalty." "It appears so," Salvatore confirmed grimly. Vincenzo's jaw tightened with protective anger, clearly recognizing the seriousness of the danger now facing Rosalie because of her genuine, positive influence within his organization. "I won't allow the Genovese family to exploit Rosalie's kindness as a weakness," he said firmly, determination evident in his voice. Rosalie looked at him carefully, surprised by the genuine concern and protective resolve evident in his usually guarded expression. "Vincenzo, I'm frightened," she admitted honestly. Vincenzo stepped closer, his usual cold composure completely absent, replaced entirely by genuine concern and quiet determination. "I promise you, Rosalie, I won't allow anything to happen to you. Not now, especially not after everything you've quietly built within this household." As tension mounted around them, Rosalie sensed clearly that the depth of loyalty she had unknowingly built throughout Vincenzo's organization was about to be tested directly. A dangerous test that would soon reveal exactly how deeply her genuine kindness had transformed not only the hearts of Vincenzo's men, but potentially, finally, the heart of Vincenzo himself. The following days passed with mounting tension throughout the Marchetti household. Vincenzo increased security measures significantly, though he remained careful not to alarm Rosalie unnecessarily, wanting to protect her without adding to her obvious anxiety about the escalating danger. Salvatore continued gathering intelligence regarding the Genovese family's intentions, his expression growing increasingly troubled with each new report. "They're not simply testing loyalty for curiosity's sake," he explained during a private meeting with Vincenzo. "They believe if Rosalie can be threatened or harmed without significant resistance from your men, it proves your organization's foundation is built more on genuine affection than fear, making you appear vulnerable, exploitable." Vincenzo frowned deeply, considering this seriously. "And if my men rally protectively around her instead? Then it proves something far more dangerous to our rivals," Salvatore replied carefully. "Genuine loyalty, built through respect and kindness rather than fear alone, is far more resilient, far more difficult to undermine or exploit." Vincenzo absorbed this information thoughtfully, recognizing clearly the significance of what Salvatore was suggesting. He had built his entire career on maintaining control through calculated fear and strategic dominance. Yet Rosalie's quiet, genuine kindness had inadvertently created something entirely different, something potentially even more powerful. Meanwhile, Rosalie continued her daily routine, though anxiety lingered constantly beneath her calm exterior. She noticed increased security around the household, additional guards stationed discreetly near entrances, and a palpable tension evident among Vincenzo's men, though most continued treating her with the same genuine warmth and respect she had grown accustomed to receiving. One afternoon, as Rosalie prepared lunch for several guards in the kitchen, Antonio approached her cautiously. "Mrs. Marchetti, I wanted you to know, regardless of whatever danger might be coming, we're not going anywhere. You've become important to all of us here." Rosalie felt tears prick gently at her eyes, deeply moved by his heartfelt sincerity. "Thank you, Antonio. That truly means everything to me. You've shown us genuine kindness, something rare and valuable in our line of work," Antonio continued earnestly. "We won't let anyone threaten that easily." Rosalie smiled warmly, though anxiety remained evident beneath her genuine gratitude. "I appreciate that more than you know, Antonio. Please, just be careful, all of you." That evening, Vincenzo found Rosalie alone in their private quarters, staring anxiously out the window into the quiet night beyond. "Rosalie," he said softly, approaching carefully, "I wanted to check on you directly." She turned, offering a small, nervous smile. "I'm managing, though I won't pretend I'm not frightened." Vincenzo studied her closely, genuine concern evident beneath his controlled exterior. "I promise you, I won't allow the Genovese family to harm you. I've increased security significantly, and my men remain fiercely loyal, ready to protect you without hesitation." "I've noticed," Rosalie admitted softly. "Antonio spoke with me today, reassuring me of everyone's loyalty. It means so much, Vincenzo, knowing they genuinely care." Vincenzo nodded slowly, clearly reflecting deeply on this unexpected transformation within his own household. "I never anticipated this kind of genuine loyalty developing so naturally, Rosalie. You've shown me something I hadn't previously understood, or perhaps hadn't allowed myself to fully appreciate." Rosalie studied him carefully, sensing genuine vulnerability beneath his usually guarded demeanor. "What exactly do you mean, Vincenzo?" Vincenzo hesitated, clearly wrestling internally with unfamiliar emotions. "I built this organization believing strength and control came purely through fear and calculated dominance. Yet you've shown genuine kindness can create something equally powerful, perhaps even more resilient." Rosalie's heart warmed gently at his sincere admission, cautious hope building steadily within her chest. "I've simply tried to treat everyone with the same care and respect I'd want for myself, Vincenzo. I never expected it to become something so significant." "It has," Vincenzo said quietly, genuine appreciation evident in his voice. "More significant than I initially realized, or was willing to admit." Their quiet, meaningful moment was suddenly interrupted by urgent knocking at their door. Salvatore entered quickly, his expression grave. "Vincenzo, we have a serious situation. A car has been spotted watching the mansion closely, believed to be Genovese surveillance. They may be preparing to make their move soon." Vincenzo's expression hardened instantly, protective determination overtaking his earlier vulnerability. "Increase security immediately. I won't allow them any opportunity to harm Rosalie." "Understood," Salvatore replied quickly, before departing hastily to arrange additional precautions. Rosalie felt anxiety tighten uncomfortably within her chest once again, though she found unexpected comfort in Vincenzo's genuine, protective resolve. "Vincenzo, please be careful," she said softly, genuine concern evident in her voice. Vincenzo reached out gently, taking her hand in a rare, tender gesture. "I promise you, Rosalie, I'll protect you and everyone in this household, no matter what it takes." That night, tension continued mounting steadily throughout the mansion, security measures increasing further as reports confirmed the Genovese family surveillance had grown more overt, clearly preparing for an imminent, direct confrontation. Vincenzo's men remained vigilant, their loyalty and determination evident in their careful, watchful preparations. Rosalie, though frightened by the escalating danger, found herself deeply moved by the genuine loyalty and protective determination surrounding her, a stark, meaningful contrast to the cold dismissal she had originally experienced upon first arriving in this dangerous, complicated world. As the night deepened, uncertainty and tension hanging heavily over the Marchetti household, Rosalie sensed clearly that the true test of loyalty, courage, and genuine love was rapidly approaching, a test that would soon reveal decisively the strength of the unexpected bonds she had quietly, genuinely built within Vincenzo's powerful, dangerous world. Just before midnight, the quiet tension surrounding the Marchetti estate shattered abruptly as gunfire erupted near the mansion's outer perimeter. Vincenzo's men, already positioned strategically throughout the property, responded immediately, engaging the Genovese family's forces with practiced precision. Vincenzo rushed quickly to Rosalie's side, his expression fierce, with protective determination. "Stay close to me," he instructed firmly, guiding her toward a secure interior room. "My men have this handled, but I won't take any chances with your safety." Rosalie nodded anxiously, her heart pounding as the sounds of gunfire and shouting echoed through the mansion's halls. Despite her fear, she found herself remarkably calm, trusting deeply in the genuine loyalty and protection surrounding her. Outside, Antonio and several other guards fought fiercely, their determination fueled not merely by duty, but by genuine affection and loyalty toward Rosalie herself. "They're not getting anywhere near Mama Rose," Antonio shouted firmly to his fellow guards, his voice carrying fierce, protective resolve. The confrontation intensified rapidly, Vincenzo's men demonstrating fierce, coordinated resistance against the Genovese family's forces, clearly unwilling to allow any harm to reach Rosalie. Salvatore coordinated the defense carefully, his voice calm yet authoritative as he directed men strategically throughout the property. Inside the secure room, Vincenzo remained close to Rosalie, his weapon ready, prepared to protect her personally should the confrontation reach them directly. "Vincenzo," Rosalie whispered anxiously, "your men, they're risking so much for me." "They believe in you, Rosalie," Vincenzo replied quietly, genuine emotion evident in his voice. "Just as I've come to believe in the genuine strength and warmth you've brought into this household." Rosalie looked at him carefully, her own fear momentarily forgotten amid the sincerity of his words. "Vincenzo, whatever happens tonight, I want you to know, I've never regretted trying to bring warmth into this house, despite everything." Vincenzo studied her closely, his usual guarded composure completely absent, replaced entirely by genuine tenderness and emotion. "Rosalie, I've been foolish, prideful, blind to what truly matters. Tonight has shown me clearly, you are the true heart of this household, of everything I've built." Before Rosalie could respond further, the sounds of conflict outside began gradually subsiding, gunfire slowing until finally stopping altogether. Moments later, Salvatore's voice called out cautiously through the hallway. "Vincenzo, it's clear. We've successfully repelled the Genovese attack. Several of their men have been captured. Others have retreated. Relief flooded through Vincenzo and Rosalie simultaneously, though clear exhaustion and lingering tension remained evident after the intense confrontation. Vincenzo carefully opened the door, finding Salvatore and several guards waiting, their expressions a mixture of exhaustion and quiet triumph. "Is everyone all right?" Rosalie asked immediately, genuine concern evident in her voice as she scanned the guards for any sign of injury. "A few minor injuries," Salvatore reported, "but nothing serious. Your men fought fiercely tonight, Vincenzo, driven by loyalty far beyond simple duty." Antonio stepped forward, exhaustion evident yet genuine warmth still present in his expression. "We weren't going to let anything happen to Mama Rose," he said simply, echoing the sentiment clearly shared among all the guards present. Rosalie felt tears of genuine gratitude and emotion filling her eyes, deeply moved by the fierce loyalty and protection demonstrated by Vincenzo's men. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice trembling with heartfelt appreciation. "All of you. Thank you for risking so much for me." Vincenzo watched this genuine exchange carefully, deeply moved by the authentic loyalty and warmth evident throughout his household, loyalty inspired entirely by Rosalie's genuine kindness rather than fear or obligation. Something within him shifted decisively, old pride finally giving way entirely to genuine admiration and love. Later that night, once the household had settled following the intense confrontation, Vincenzo found Rosalie alone once again in their private quarters, her expression thoughtful and emotional after the night's dramatic events. "Rosalie," he said softly, approaching gently, "tonight has shown me clearly what genuine loyalty and love truly mean. I've spent years believing strength came purely through fear and control, yet you've shown me something far more powerful, more genuine." Rosalie turned to face him, her eyes still glistening with emotion from the intense events of the evening. "Vincenzo, I never wanted anything from you except genuine respect and kindness. I'm deeply grateful you've come to see that." Vincenzo stepped closer, reaching gently for her hands, his usual guarded composure completely melted away, replaced entirely by genuine vulnerability and emotion. "Rosalie, I love you. Genuinely, deeply, in a way I never anticipated feeling. Tonight has shown me clearly, you are the true heart of everything I've built, everything that truly matters." Rosalie's breath caught softly, genuine happiness and emotion flooding through her at his heartfelt, sincere declaration. "I love you too, Vincenzo. Despite everything, despite the difficult beginning we shared, I've grown to love you deeply as well." Gently, Vincenzo pulled her into a warm, tender embrace, genuine love and appreciation evident clearly in his affectionate hold. Rosalie rested her head softly against his chest, feeling, for the first time since her arrival, genuine warmth, security, and love within the walls of the Marchetti household. As the household finally settled into peaceful calm, following the intense, dangerous confrontation, Rosalie and Vincenzo stood together quietly, their hearts finally united genuinely, the events of the dangerous night ultimately solidifying not only the loyalty and safety of the entire household, but the profound, genuine love now blossoming fully between them. In the days following the Genovese family's failed attack, word spread quickly throughout the criminal underworld about the fierce, genuine loyalty demonstrated by Vincenzo Marchetti's men. Rather than appearing weakened by perceived vulnerability, the Marchetti organization emerged from the confrontation stronger than ever, their unity and loyalty clearly proving far more powerful than any rival family had anticipated. The Genovese family, having lost several men and suffered significant embarrassment during their failed attempt, quietly withdrew any further plans against the Marchetti household, recognizing clearly the formidable strength born from genuine loyalty rather than mere fear. Salvatore, meeting privately with Vincenzo days later, reported the encouraging developments. "Word has spread quickly, Vincenzo. Other families now see our organization's loyalty as a genuine strength, not a vulnerability. Several rival families have even expressed interest in reconsidering their own approaches to leadership." Vincenzo nodded thoughtfully, genuine satisfaction evident in his expression. It seems Rosalie's kindness has proven far more valuable than I ever anticipated, strengthening our organization in ways calculated fear alone never could. Indeed, Salvatore agreed warmly. Perhaps it's time the entire organization formally acknowledges her contribution. Vincenzo considered this thoughtfully, a genuine smile forming, rare and warm, as he embraced the idea fully. I think that's precisely what we should do. That evening, Vincenzo organized a special gathering, inviting the entire household staff, security guards, and trusted associates to a celebratory dinner, unlike any the Marchetti household had previously experienced. Long tables were elegantly arranged in the grand dining hall, filled with an abundance of Rosalie's beloved dishes, prepared this time not by Rosalie alone, but collaboratively with grateful kitchen staff eager to honor her. Rosalie entered the dining hall, surprised and deeply moved by the joyful atmosphere awaiting her. Vincenzo stood at the head of the table, his expression warm and genuinely affectionate as he watched her reaction. "Rosalie," Vincenzo announced warmly, addressing the assembled guests directly, "tonight, we celebrate you, the genuine heart and strength of this household." The room erupted into warm applause, guards and staff alike smiling genuinely, their affection and admiration evident clearly on every face. Antonio stepped forward, raising his glass proudly. "To Mama Rose," he declared warmly, "the woman who taught us all that true strength comes from genuine kindness and love." The entire room joined enthusiastically, raising their glasses in heartfelt tribute. "To Mama Rose," they declared together, warmth and genuine affection evident throughout the joyful celebration. Rosalie felt tears of genuine happiness and gratitude filling her eyes, deeply moved by the sincere warmth and appreciation surrounding her. She glanced toward Vincenzo, finding his own eyes filled with genuine pride and love, a stark, beautiful contrast to the cold dismissal she had experienced during their very first dinner together months earlier. Vincenzo stepped closer, gently taking her hand in front of the assembled guests, his voice steady, yet clearly emotional. "Rosalie, I once mocked your cooking cruelly, blind to the genuine warmth and strength you brought into this household. Tonight, I want everyone here to understand clearly. You are not simply my wife by arrangement, but my wife by genuine choice, genuine love." The room fell into a warm, respectful silence, guests deeply moved by Vincenzo's heartfelt, sincere declaration. Rosalie's heart swelled with genuine happiness, tears slipping freely down her cheeks as she looked lovingly toward her husband. "Vincenzo," she whispered softly, emotion evident in her voice. "Thank you for finally seeing me, for genuinely embracing what we've built together." Vincenzo smiled warmly, genuine love and admiration evident clearly in his tender gaze. Gently, he leaned down, sealing his heartfelt declaration with a warm, loving kiss. The assembled guests erupting once again into joyful applause, celebrating genuinely the beautiful transformation they had all witnessed unfold within their household. In the months that followed, the Marchetti household flourished under Rosalie's genuine warmth and Vincenzo's newfound appreciation and love. Their organization grew stronger, unified by genuine loyalty and respect rather than mere fear, becoming known throughout the criminal underworld as a formidable, yet uniquely respected family, admired for their genuine unity and strength. Rosalie continued her beloved cooking, now joyfully supported by an entire household eager to help and learn from her genuine warmth and skill. Vincenzo, transformed deeply by his wife's genuine kindness, became known not only as a powerful, respected leader, but as a man capable of genuine warmth, love, and authentic connection, qualities rare and valuable within their dangerous world. One quiet evening, sitting together comfortably in their private quarters, watching the sunset paint the sky in warm, gentle hues, Rosalie rested her head gently against Vincenzo's shoulder. "Do you ever think about how different things might have turned out?" she asked softly, "if you had never come to appreciate what I brought into this house?" Vincenzo smiled warmly, pulling her closer. "Every day, Rosalie, your kindness, your genuine warmth, transformed not only our household, but transformed me completely, teaching me the true meaning of strength and loyalty." Rosalie smiled contentedly, genuine happiness and security settling deeply within her heart. I'm grateful you finally saw that, Vincenzo. Grateful we found genuine love, despite our difficult beginning. Vincenzo gently kissed the top of her head, holding her closely as peaceful contentment settled comfortably around them. And I intend to spend the rest of my life ensuring you know exactly how deeply loved and appreciated you truly are, Rosalie. Every single day, for the rest of our lives together. From that day forward, Vincenzo Marchetti was no longer known simply as a cold, calculating mafia boss, but proudly, affectionately, as the husband of Mama Rose, the genuine heart and soul of an entire criminal empire, transformed completely by love, kindness, and the profound strength found in genuine human connection.